Hey guys, welcome back. Got yet another lighting combination here. I think this one's gonna work. I think I'm actually gonna like this one. But hi, welcome back. What I'm going to talk to you about today, and what brought this up is I had a friend say something. Now I know the friend's going through rough times, but the friend said something I had said on the other channel. Excuse me, got the itchies. About I had painted my front door, and I said I'd rename my place Applebee's because it looked like Trunk Toddlers painted my front door. And instead of, he did empathize, but at the same time he said, well, I don't have the money to paint anything because I'm going financially for rough times, and I just got my internet back. Now, we both know each other are going through rough times. And he went on to say something and something else. And, I empathize for anyone. I think, 98% of the people on the planet are going through financially rough times. Always. That's just, the nature of being human. You never have enough to do what you want. It doesn't have anything to do with where you are. There's never going to be enough. I think psychologically they say that no matter how much you have, it's always like your comfort zone's like 10% more or something. All right. Well, and we're two very different religions because I was raised, well, I don't think he's Catholic, but I was raised in the Catholic religion where their nature of sacrifice is suffering and being sad. And if you're poor, it's because that's what God wants you to be, and just go ahead and suffer and be poor. And in our religion, and this is just my 2 cents. If you don't agree with me, it's fine. Especially if you work with Loki, it's like, you know what? Okay, I'm poor, but I can have some self-respect. I can have some pride. I know I dress like Willie Nelson, but I don't have to have a house that looks like Freddy Krueger designed it. My house has looked bad for a very long time. I've actually been ashamed of my house. And I have the 2 aunties, and they're like people that are financially better off, and they're constantly repainting their houses. And I thought I could get motivated for me to do it for me, because for me personally, I didn't care enough to do it for me. For me, I'm like, a house is just a place to live in. But when I started thinking of the house more in terms of, I can never afford to build Loki a temple, but if I treated it, once I started doing that makeover and treating that room as his temple room, because he got that idea, I thought if I treated the whole house as his temple, I would treat the house with a lot more respect. And so I made the sacrifice. And I said, well, I can eat scrap, because I'm so used to doing it for the channel, for the main channel. You see all the little plushies and stuff behind me, and that stuff doesn't buy itself. So I've been doing it for about a year, buying swag to put online for people to look at. And you can't buy things and then also buy good nourishing food. You buy scrap because you don't have any money left. And I was like, you know what? Thankfully, this swag has pretty much run out. And this kind of sacrifice actually means something, because this is a sacrifice that I want to make, because it's important, at least me, to let Loki know that I love him and I need him here and I depend on him, and I want him to know this is his home as well, and that that he's welcome here. And so, yeah, I went ahead and I did the one room, and then I got the paint for the front door, and that was what really set this guy off. He was really upset about it, and I was like, that was okay. As a pagan and as a Lokean, I was fine with the nature of that sacrifice. In fact, I even talked to the other gods. I said, you guys are okay with this God. You guys know I'm not going to go out and buy meat for a while. I'm going to be kind of holding tight, because this is more important to me to do this for him than to go out and buy meat right now. And they're all like, yeah, we know. We knew you would do this. Go ahead. And I'm happy I did it. And it turned out, because Loki asked me last night, he's like, darling, what would you like? Because he got his, he got the front door, and I did the wreath for him and C. And I said, oh, I was just kidding. I said, go ahead, get me grocery shopping. Because I've been so exhausted lately. I'm like, yeah, right. And darn if the auntie didn't call and I got shot out the door, but I got grocery shopping today. And, that doesn't mean the moral of the story is not go out, buy paint, and Loki will give you something. We don't make sacrifices in our religion the way other religions do, thinking there will be a payoff down the line. We don't do it that way. It was done from a place of love. It was done, I'm giving this to you because I love you. That's the only reason you're getting it. I don't want anything from you. This is for you because I love you, because you're welcome here and you're my God. And that's what we have to remember. They're gods. You're supposed to give them things, make sacrifices to them. We humans have become so relaxed in our religion, so equal to our gods in our own minds, that we get a little bit like, sacrifice? Really? We're cool with lighting candles and burning incense and that, but when it actually hurts, when it's like a little bit uncomfortable, we're like, oh no. And you don't want to go the other way. You don't want to go the Catholic way I was raised with, where it's psychological sacrifice, where it's spiritually harmful and it kills you. You don't want to do that either. But you don't want to get to the point where sometimes we get to the point where we won't do anything at all, and then we wonder why we're not getting along with our gods. You have to kind of reach that balance. And I was happy I did it, and I did end up going out and buying meat, because I'm like, we always land on our feet around here. And the moral is, you have to approach your definition of sacrifice in your own way. Everyone has their own definition. And this does not mean, by the way, that I'm going to suddenly become rich, or that I'm going to win the lottery, or anything else. It's, I believe a lot of people call it right doing. You have to show certain maturity and a certain love and respect towards your gods, because they deserve it. By and large, most of us can't afford to build them proper temples, so they do deserve something, Loki especially. So I got that done, and, I told you I got the door done. God's be praised. I put a 6th coat on it this morning, and God's be praised, it evened out. I think whatever Norse god is in charge of paint, I think they took pity on me, and they were like, oh dear Lord, dear myself, this looks terrible. And I'm painting the, what do you call that? The threshold? Is there a proper term for the gear that you have down on the floor in the threshold? I'm painting that as well. So it will look a little bit luxe. It'll be a little bit luxe and a little bit of things that could be improved. But, day by day, time by time, things will get improved. But it does look beautiful. And the wreath, the wreath has meaning to both of us. And Siggy's all excited because, the jewelry that's in the wreath, I actually got that up in Canada because Loki's always been my travel companion. Long story there. But I wanted to give it to him. He's like, no, I can't take this from you. And I wanted to give it to him, and he's like, okay, I'll take it, but you have to agree to some things. I'm not going to say what I agreed to, but I agreed to them, and he's like, okay, I'll take them. And then the silver snake was actually a gift from Papa Damballa, because, what I really wanted to give to him, I couldn't afford. I wanted to give him a couple $100 wreath. I couldn't afford. And my gods, no, I can't afford to give them what I want. So they shuffle their gifts around. They initially get a gift, they admire it, they love it for a while, and then they'll give it to someone else. If someone else, should need a gift, or I would like to give a gift to someone else, and they know I love them, and they're usually not into having things. It's the symbolism of the gesture, and that was the important thing. And Papa Damballa's all happy, and then Papa Damballa's like, this means I can be near the front door too. He was so happy. So, you know, they were all actually happy to help out. And I'm making some other subtle changes in my office, and it feels like it's balancing out the energy, and it's good. I'm kind of, you can't tell behind me maybe too much. Well, maybe you can a little, but I'm kind of amping and dropping back down on the FNAF energy. I know it appeals to people if they're maybe 10 and under, and I love it, don't get me wrong. I love FNAF down to the ground, but at the same time, if I have a half FNAF and I have a half is coming out, I'm not sure what you're going to call the final style when it comes out, magical. But if I have it like half-half, it looks like it's going to be more serene. If the FNAF train had kept rolling, FNAF would have been a good decor choice to keep. And there is still a lot of FNAF in the kitchen. Five Nights at Freddy's, by the way, if you don't know what I'm talking about, all the Guga behind me. But once that train derailed and the fan kind of died and the channel started to struggle, it's like, I really don't need to see a lot of this stuff every day. I love it, and it's still in my house. It's just like it's in other places. It can spread out. It doesn't all need to be concentrated in one tiny room. It can spread out, and I can have other things in the room. So it's looking really nice. And I did like change some stuff too, so I could actually work around and like cook more meals in here and not be setting plushies on fire and stuff like that. But I thought I would make a video for you guys and talk about the nature of sacrifice to us, because it's very different than it is to other people. Other people, it's more like they usually write a check and they give it to their institution, usually their church or the temple or whatever, and you know, they trust that that's going to go to whatever, and there's nothing bad with that. But sometimes we can do other things as well. We can do like what I did with doing the door, because if you know Loki, he has an enormous amount of pride, and taking pride in something in yourself or your surroundings or what have you, if you're going to include him in them, you know, it makes sense. And to give him something, to give him that welcoming gesture, it does mean a lot to him. And it came out extremely well. One of the gods, I'll probably never know who kind of saved me on that door, because that door was an unholy mess. And I woke up this morning and it had been paint, because paint does not magically fix itself. Somebody like saved me on that one. And the threshold looks pretty good now. And I just figured I would let you guys know about that. I'm not upset or anything that somebody said what they said. You know, you say something on YouTube and then somebody's always going to mention starving children in Africa or something. That you can't do anything right anymore in this world. But yeah, I know the guy's having a hard time. It's like, you know, we're all having a hard time, but this is the nature of sacrifice. Sometimes it doesn't matter if you're still having a hard time. You still have to do sacrifice to your gods. Well, maybe Christians don't do that, but you know, we as pagans, you know, usually do it. And it's like, to me it was worth it. To other people it might not be, but to me it was worth it to show Loki that he is loved and, you know, he is wanted, and that he would accept what I could give instead of what I truly wanted to give. You know, that to me made me happy, and it made the sacrifice more than worth it. So I hope you guys like this, and I hope it gave you food for thought. And again, as always, use what you can use and leave the rest behind. But I thought I would make the video because I don't want people thinking that, you know, we make sacrifice and then therefore the gods give us something. It's never worked like that. The gods aren't vending machines. And two, I don't want people thinking that because they see pagans doing something, you have a right to be angry at them or resentful or something. It's the nature of our religion. We have a religion of sacrifice. We sacrifice unto our gods. And Luckily, we are no longer sacrificing humans to Odin because there are quite a few people I could think of I'd like to hang from a tree. Okay, I will see you guys later, and blessed be.